is 2010. There's basically no such thing as a retro-styled FPS game. We're firmly entrenched in brown military shooters. Gears of War-style stop-and-pop stuff. The closest we had, right, at the time to a quicker, more vibrant shooting experience was Bulletstorm. The whole genre of, it's kinda like old games because it has a pulse, belonged to devs like People Can Fly and Flying Wild Hog. Basically, people who could trace their lineage back to the Painkiller series. It was games about arenas followed by hallways, followed by arenas, and don't get me wrong, those were pretty influential because that's the DNA of Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. The beginning of the shift in the indie scene to being able to recreate something closer in structure and tone to the old FPS games started not with Doom, or Quake, or Serious Sam or Painkiller, but with the Duke. A little company called Interceptor Entertainment was working on something called Duke Nukem Next Gen, a ground-up remake and reimagining of Duke Nukem 3D on Unreal 3. And then, right, they talk to Gearbox, and Gearbox gives them the go-ahead to make this thing, but they can't release the thing without permission from Gearbox and Take-Two. And Gearbox kept blue-balling them for a while until finally giving them no definitive answer on whether this project they'd been working on for a year could ever be released. So work on what was now called Duke Nukem 3D Reloaded stopped, because of course it did. Why would you continue to make a game that Gearbox might shut down, Interceptor, he said, knowing what happened to Duke Nukem Mass Destruction, that other Interceptor game that Gearbox strangled in the crib in favor of...
Sometimes death is better.
I can understand. Bombshell wasn't exactly critically loved, but it is objectively more than nothing, which is probably the best review that game ever got. So Duke Nukem 3D Reloaded is dead, but Interceptor is not. Interceptor has a habit of not dying, despite some setbacks like the aforementioned Bombshell. Rad Rogers, an episodic platformer that was decent but didn't meet the kickstarted goal for Episode 2, but then Rad Rogers got sold off to THQ Nordic when Interceptor restructured and Rad Rogers Radical Edition happened, which had new playable characters including Duke Nukem, and Shelly, and Lo Wang. Oh, it's new Wang, not old Wang. That makes sense, because he's a playable character in ROT 2013 multiplayer, so there's... Oh god, I'm getting so lost with this. Interceptor, now known as Slipgate Studios, but not this one because they changed the name again to Slipgate Ironworks, the company founded by John Romero that went defunct in 2019. And so then Slipgate Ironworks, a subsidiary of Saber Interactive, a subsidiary of Embracer Group, oh, fuck me, they have Flying Wild Hog now. There's pieces missing here, and I'm not seeing the whole picture, and it's driving me fucking insane. Slipgate Ironworks, now working on Core Decay, Sin Reloaded, Kingpin Reloaded, Wrath, Eon of Ruin, and Graven. So this company is using some kind of arcane magic to stay afloat, but that magic is only for puzzle solving. If you want to know about that Rise of the Triad remaster they teased at Realms Deep 2020, fuck if I know. As far as I can tell, that's in Apogee's hands now known as Apogee Entertainment, and the last I heard of that ROT remaster, it was in the hands of 3D Realms and Destructive Creations, creators of the hit video game Sunshine and Kittens. What? What the fuck? Looks like I picked the wrong week to stop drinking toilet wine.
CV11. Prepare for incoming gift.
Oh, no shit? Wait, did a child have to die so we could get a Toys for Tots package? Because I'm okay with that.
What the fuck, Civvy?
You have the same brain. You were thinking it too. What's in here? It smells terrible. Oh. I suppose it can wait. It's Christmas, and there aren't any good Christmas games. But here we have Rise of the Triad 2013, ground zero for the retro FPS renaissance. Don't believe me? Because look at some of the names on this thing. These two specifically, who would go on to make this game, a Medieval, at a studio headed by this dude. No! Fuck! Get out of here, New Blood. You were in the last, 5 videos. Get the fuck out. You've destroyed my penis's reputation on the internet. Oh, and also... So they had this guy who'd sent them some good demos that got him into working on Duke Nukem 3D Reloaded, and they thought, we'll bring him on over and task him with remaking the original MIDI tracks by Lee Jackson. I'm sure you're all familiar with those, from the finest FPS soundtrack of the 90s. And much like the original ROT, this music is better than the game it's attached to. Listen to this fucking bass and I choose the stairs. We all knew it was going to be good from the trailer, which used going down the fast way.
Yeah, how's that shit feel? Oh, baby!
established that the music is great, but how's the game, Civvy?
Got pain? Here, have some of this shit, motherfucker.
It's a bit jank. I have trouble saying that Rot 2013 is a good game because it is unquestionably a complete mess. Amateurish in almost every way. It launched at $15, which means you can get all this game for the price of a Perilous Warp.
San Nicolas Island. 1 year in the
You
future.
got that? This takes place in 2014.
The UN has proof that a rogue organization known only as the Triad has taken over San Nicolas Island, off the coast of California. The Hunt, high-risk United Nations task force, has been sent in to investigate. This top-secret paramilitary unit has never been called upon.
That's probably not a good sign. I hope they at least did some team-building exercises like doing trust falls over spinning blades because they suck at infiltration and are immediately spotted.
Intruders! Enemy boats spotted in the lagoon! Destroy it and open fire on the ridge!
Damn it.
We've been spotted! Get to cover! Bloody hell, we're pinned down! Son of a bitch.
Their boat gets blown up, but it's a comic, so you don't see the missile fire. It just goes...
Was that the boat?
Whoa, let's get the hell out of here.
Did you guys...
Let's get the
Wait,
hell
did you-
out of here.
What?
Let's-
They blow a hole in a fence and enter the base, and this is the last we'll see of these comic panels until the very end. For this playthrough, I've chosen Doug because he has the most endurance, lowest speed, but I can deal with that, because I'm also playing on the hardest skill. This one is called Ludicrous, so it had to be the one. It doesn't feel that much harder than the others. I think the environmental traps hurt a lot more, and by that I mean they're instant death in some cases. There are differences in the playable characters too, like Lorelei is the fastest but the weakest, Cassat is the middle of the road, Doug is the tank. Just like old times. We don't get as many maps as the original Rot because making levels in Unreal 3 is about 10,000 times more complex than using a tile editor, but I bet placing GADs is a lot fucking easier. There's Easter eggs in these map screens like this here, which I can't make out. There are others later on that I can. Let's listen to the mission briefing.
A mission briefing? Seriously? You need a mission briefing? Alright. If it moves, kill it.
You didn't say over. Over? That's Hulshult, by the way. Now, you might have heard that this game has some performance issues, although to put it more succinctly, it runs like fucking shit. But I'm glad to report that my PC can currently run this game from 2013 at a mostly solid 60 FPS.
The hunt is back, baby.
That's right, the characters all have voices too. Don't play as Ty.
I'm the Widowmaker. Let's rock. I'm red, you're dead. Does anybody have a band? Box with a cross on it, anything!
I know you'll want to because, look at her. You know her model is based off an adult film actress named Misty Dawn, and while I haven't seen her in anything, I'm going to assume she's very talented. Oh. That's what that looks like. Not a secret, huh?
Yeah, I'm down with this.
This shit was catnip for us back in the day. This whole level, in fact, unlike the rest of the maps, very closely follows the layout of the original In the Thick of It, down to the side area with the God Mode power-up, and I think the team behind this game realized very quickly that Unreal 3 was not designed to do this. Larger, non-linear levels, not really what anything at the time was designed for, especially not a top-of-the-line engine. So what the game is usually doing is streaming new areas in, while also sometimes kinda blocking you off from previous areas of the level after the checkpoint. So sometimes if you miss a secret, tough luck. You gotta go back and reload it. Here's my favorite point of no return in this game, where it blocks you off from the previous area. Oh yeah, that's how it has to go. Graphical advancements have made it necessary to do this. I don't blame Interceptor for this. This was an unfortunate reality of game development in the modern age. You can enter any of the levels from any checkpoint with any character after you've completed them, which is really handy for me later on. There are also quick saves. The game did not ship with quick saves. I remember getting this game day one and beating it without them.
I guess we should have included it. Shit. I guess I'm not getting my $5, huh?
Oh, we'll get to that. The first secret is really useful because you get your fully automatic sniper rifle to replace your semi-automatic sniper pistols. And I know all you gun nuts in my comments are going, Civvy, that's an MP40. Those pistols were carried by Czechoslovakian infantry between March of 1952 and April in 1952. Well, riddle me this, commenters. Why the fuck does every bullet from this rapid-fire sniper rifle have 100% accuracy? Zero spread. There's no spraying and praying in this game, kids. It's for real hardcore gamers. I can say with 100% certainty that these blood effects are trash. They are big and do help you discern enemies from the background, which is a huge problem in this game. And they knew it was a huge problem because the HUD has to tell you when you kill an enemy. You have reloads too, not because the guns need to be reloaded, but because it looks cool. No, I'm not kidding, that's why they're in there. Pick up that God mode. Katie, can you tell me what the fuck Doug has tattooed on his fingers? Please leave a comment if you can read that. Please like and subscribe if you can read that. It sure is God mode. The projectile doesn't fly around and home in like in the old one, and it's got all these pretty effects. I still haven't played this game enough for the achievement of 666 kills with this weapon. Come on. Come on. We've got all the Rot classics in here, remade with secondary fire options. And one totally new weapon that was added post-release, where they held a contest to name this thing, this beefy triple-barreled shotgun here. Primary is buckshot, secondary is exploding shot, and they ended up calling it the Doomstick instead of what I wanted, which was the Frame Killer. Too bad the gun is less useful than any of the missile weapons. You can't really tell where the projectiles are going with this primary, and you could probably stop to look, except the gun kicks so hard you're lucky to still be facing the same direction when it's done. Wait, hold on, Katie, freeze it. What the fuck? Are those fucking missiles? Is this shotgun firing fucking missiles that move so fast that you're not gonna see them? Why would it do that? You can still see the shells loading into it. Why would you make it shoot those when your performance is already bad? You just make little fletchets or something. You know, something with less poly, so what the fuck are you doing, Rot 2013?
It's fucking raw!
To be fair, you can only see this for one frame, but to be balanced, that one frame lasts 7 frames. These jibs do be ludicrous though, I can't deny. My opinion is harsher now than it was when Rot 2013 came out. You gotta understand, back then, retro FPS throwback to me was like giving water to a man stranded in the desert. Whereas now, it's like giving Target presents a Nutricola sponsored by Raycon, only 1,500 calories per serving, serving size 1/2 ounce, do not consume more than 8 ounces within 24 hours of first exposure, subsequent exposure discouraged to a drowning man. My point is, we would have taken anything at all, except rack apparently. Just in this level, you can find the Doomstick, the Bazooka, the Heatseeker, the Flame Wall, yes, the Flame Wall, which has the same primary attack and a secondary that shoots little flaming balls that explode, kinda like what the Doomstick secondary does, but also incredibly useful because for a very low cost to your ammo, you can heat up Priest Porridge and Monk Meal for extra health. We still got jump pads and coin collecting, no extra lives in this game, it's all about the score. You've got the score and level completion on screen at all times. And if you'd like me to 100% this game, you're gonna have to settle for like 85 to 90. Huh. If I hold action long enough, a BFG will spawn here. I don't know how long they mean, but it must be longer than the minute I was willing to waste to find out. Gravitational anomaly discs, also known as GADs, make their return despite the fact that this is a real 3D engine and you don't need them. And also they're janky, and if you're a little off center sometimes, the level geometry will push you right off. There's a secret exit in the very first level. Oh no, I'm sorry, this classic Rot door texture is not a secret exit. It is not. Funny thing, when they added quick saves into this game in the patch, which must have been an absolute nightmare, they added something on the scoreboard called a quick load penalty. And that's a lie, because I didn't load once during this level. It's a quick save penalty, a number that will only get higher the farther we get into this game. It's okay, we can make up that lost score in the secret level. This whole level is coin collecting and platforming. The game gives you a bazooka and asbestos armor to encourage rocket jumping. Instead of being time-limited power-ups, the asbestos armor and bulletproof armor have percentages and degrade when you're hit. Also, rocket jumping is weird. Looks like I'd make it over that fence, but nah, it's a little too high and I'd have to use the jump pads. Jump pads in the original would give you a boost and toss you in the air pretty reliably. I think the height and velocity were related to how tall the level was, and since this isn't like that at all, jump pads are a gamble, sometimes life or death.
Oh man, I'm glad I'm sitting here.
These jump pads throw you in a specific direction and are supposed to put you on the next one to bounce into this tower. Yeah, whatever, I'm out. Look at that, 90% complete, 5 stars. The next level doesn't copy its design from the old game, which is fine, and a good idea, because some of the old rot levels were a bit much in terms of how big and cryptic they could be. Got the classic run like Smeg going, got this exercise book. Fappercise, Masturbate Yourself Thin, which is a program I've been using for decades, and that shit just doesn't work. Here we go, snipe the enemies from across the arena with my submachine gun. Considering this is on Unreal 3, I'm amazed anything in this game works. A lot of the first episode is spent with the hit scan enemies, and a lot of the second episode, so there's a fun game of where the fuck did I just get hit from? And if you're paying attention to the HUD, you'll see these blood effects, but also a red arrow that's on screen for half a second. Yes, half a second, 30 frames, Katie counted. The blood effect is there for twice that time, so you might not notice the arrow at first. That tells you where you're being hit from. The arrow would suggest that the enemy is shooting you through this wall, but that's not where the shot came from. I've had this footage analyzed. The shot came from behind me, but there isn't anybody there. This shot is totally inconsistent with a shot from behind this wall, where this arrow is pointing. Turn around and there's no shooter, not even one you can't pick out because he blends in with the environment. Remember this arrow pointing up and to the left? This arrow, ladies and gentlemen, is a lie, concocted by Jank. I look here, you can see the possible places the arrow on a two-dimensional plane could have meant to point to. The top of this building maybe, or the guard tower that's there just for show. But no, I found the shooter behind this gate, firing through it. This arrow points up and to the left, but the shooter is back and to the right. Back and to the right. Back and to the right. Oh fuck, the net guys are back, and I briefly forgot that this game gives you a knife attack bound to a key. That being said, this section is one of the ones when the game works the best. Running, gunning, missile weapons. Now let's play Spot the Enemy. You're saying it's the lightning guard here, right? You know they can still take your missile weapons away in this game, but that's not who I'm talking about. It's this guy right here. Let's move on. The levels in episode 1 are pretty similar. The third takes place mostly inside and introduces you to the Elasto mode power-up. Oh. I hope they added a penicillin power-up. Fun thing about quick saves, they can turn off environmental hazards sometimes.
Shit. I guess I'm not getting my $5, huh?
Firebomb is back, and it's exactly as good as it's always been. This last bit of E1L3 is stuck in my brain for how much of a pain in the ass it is.
Oh, I get it now. So you only think you're jumping.
You've got every problem this game has localized within one room. It's a big tall box full of hit scanners and similar interconnected boxes. Enemies will sometimes stand completely still and not trigger at all, just kind of idle there.
They're over there.
This next area, wouldn't let your pants sag. These guys really know what that means.
No, I have no idea what you mean by that. And here we find our first mini-boss, Dirty Sanchez. Yeah, this is a 3D Realms game, alright. He's a regular Strike Force guard with a lot of health. You may remember them from the original game as the ones who would roll. This time they also roll, like every single time you hit them. And they are so much worse, except when they roll off a cliff. This whole section's like the big vertical area in the previous level, except with more traps, more enemies, It is grueling. We're almost at the end of the first episode, though, so it's time for the reimagined bosses.
This ends the air.
This is definitely one of the things that was improved from the original, because General Darian's fight in the old game is stupid and bullshit. Him teleporting around and all. Of course, they'll bury you in a lunchbox is great.
They'll bury you in a lunchbox. They'll bury you in a lunchbox.
He's Cyber Darian. Not that you see it right now, he's in his box. He doesn't kill me very much. Usually I die to these goddamn fire traps in the doorway to where all the weapons are. You can cheese Darian a little bit with the split missile from inside, but not the whole way. Heat seekers aren't always reliable. He's got an energy wall, spikes that come out of the floor. These are the really dangerous things in this arena. Then he really comes out to play. Once you beat his second phase, you get a cutscene where it looks like he's won, then he accidentally shoots his own head off and Doug lights a cigar. Cool, good shit.
Looks like you've made it to the Triad's castle. Go inspect their tapestries.
How dare he?
Also, shoot anything that moves. HQ out.
Roger. Say, that's a familiar ship over in this cave. Into the castle is jank-looking shit. What is this terrain? You get the drunk missile here. There's one in the previous level, but I opted for the firebomb because why wouldn't I? Instead of the primary being a volley of weird homing missiles, it's a straight barrage of small missiles which don't do as much damage as you'd hope. Cool idea, but I'll finish these guys off by machine sniping them. I only know they're here because I played this before. It's not like I can see them. It's fine. It's not bad or anything except this part.
Let them have it.
Nope. This level has a dog kennel with a dog mode power-up. Shut up, bitch. I'll do what I want. That's fair.
What kind of crazy shit is...
Aside from a lock-on function that shoots you around towards enemies, dog mode is virtually unchanged. It's always good, and I have no complaints. But that's not why we're here. That's not the cultural significance of Rise of the Triad 2013. No. It's... There's a secret God mode power-up around here, so we can truly experience this uninterrupted.
Dog! Kill me! Kill me! Come on! Come on! Kill me! Kill me! I'm here! Come on! What now? Do it! Come on!
Legendary. You get the Excalibur in this level too, which I prefer to the original also because the secondary isn't just a charge, you can go nuts with it.
It's almost as big as mine.
Oh, god damn it. You wanna know how jank this game is? A lightning guard passes through these spikes unharmed, steals my Excalibur, which causes me to switch from my MP40, which he did not steal, to my firebomb, resulting in... Yeah, I was saved by the asbestos armor. There's a secret in this level that has a push wall in it that takes you to the next secret level, a pretty yard of collectibles, very serene, the perfect thing to tackle before the maddening, awful, soul-crushing... The room is... Saying it is worse than the original really doesn't give it enough credit. It is a broken, punishing, evil creation made of the kind of blind, destructive ambition that created the atomic bomb. If you're gonna give up on this game, this is where you do it. So there's 4 different sections that you open with switches in shacks locked with gold keys. You get a gold key in each section. It's a lot more than one room, which isn't the kind of detail I would normally bring up, but fuck this level. Quick saving and quick loading can duplicate keys or break stuff completely, so don't do it. Rely on the checkpoints like it was intended, like how anyone playing this at release, including myself, did. These jump pads, as we've discussed, are weird and bad, and they're the worst here, requiring you to precisely platform in a game where you can get stuck on static meshes or some other such fuckery, and it's the worst part, but the second worst part is the fire traps. F you. And to top it all off, I couldn't possibly leave this level before acquiring Scott's mystical head.
Let him have it.
Hey, shit!
Damn, that's gonna hurt.
Let him have it.
Damn, that's gonna hurt.
This will put a smile on anyone's face. That's one disturbed looking weapon.
The next couple are fine, I guess. Spiraling in is cool, and the four-way chamber has nearly pornographic levels of architectural detail where they just copy and paste static meshes everywhere, even mirroring them when the material won't have continuous texturing.
Fucking wrong!
This game is fine and perfectly playable, like 75% of the time when the jank isn't boiling over.
You'll make good lubricant for my biomechanical prosthesis.
Sebastian Doyle Christ, voiced by Andrew Hulshult, man, he really gets around, has his floating chair. You have to bait him into shooting his own shield recharge stations before killing him, and when he destroys these stations, doors open next to them to spawn guards who might just stay in those rooms. They don't give a fuck with this AI. But the real fun thing is that while Christ has powerful machine guns on his chair, he can't aim them very well.
As long as I have my biomechanical prosthesis, I can't be defeated. Oh shit!
His second phase is a bitch, though. There's health pickups down here you can't even see because they're under all this blood. You think you can hide behind cover until he destroys it. This is all one and done, by the way. There's no mid-fight saving like before with any of these bosses. So if you, say, get caught on some scenery and he kills you, tough shit, get good, scrub no balls. Well, I found this secret Excalibat at the beginning, and I suggest saving an Excalibat for every boss you can.
I would rather die 1,000 deaths than have you raise a finger to help me.
Yeah, get fucked. In adapting an old video game, it's important to completely disregard the tone of the old game's levels because they were shit mazes full of enforcers. Actually, I don't mind Robotrix at all. In the original, or in this one, I guess I don't know. I like the old robots, the tin cans. These guys are... Oh, I get it. It's a Doctor the Who reference. Remember when you could deal with one of the old robots with one missile? These guys take 4. And the ballista craft return too, near the start.
I am invincible.
There are barely any ballista craft in this game, which is fine and a good decision. Episode 3 splits its environments half and half between laboratories and caves. Like in the first episode, the lab has prisoners in it, except these ones you can kill. While this level isn't a totally faithful remake of Robotrix, it ends similarly with an ambush by a bunch of robots, and their projectiles stop my fire, but what the fuck? Whatever, it's secret level time again. This one is collecting coins. I'm not sure it even has a real exit. It just ends when I hit 100%.
Alright.
Okay. Next level is a lot like the first one of the episode, except with more weird platforming and prisoners that the game lets you kill, which is fun, I guess. I call this one Little John.
Come on, do it. Flip it. Flip the switch. Let's see what happens. I'm excited.
But enough of that fun stuff. Here's some platforming.
Hey, you're not doing so hot. Maybe it's time for God mode.
You guys remember when the enforcers, they would say,
Eat lead.
And
Here, catch.
And that here catch was kind of important because it telegraphed a really deadly attack. He doesn't do that here because this is for hardcore gamers only.
Oh man, I'm glad I'm sitting
They're a little tougher than they used to be, and you see them a lot more in Episode 3. My favorite part about Robot Episode is that it exacerbates an already existing problem where there's so many cool effects here, all this smoke and particle stuff, and you can't see what's happening, but it is cool. I'm glad they graphically enhanced this game so it looks like a AAA title from a previous decade.
Give me it.
Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby.
Give me it. Let him have it.
It's the NME. He's back. He's bigger. He's arguably badder. The original was a pain, and the new one is a pain. He's got homing missiles, seemingly endless barrages of homing missiles. He also lowers the floor of the arena into lava. I still think the original might have been easier because there were decent places to hide. But hey, listen, there's a secret in this level where you can get bulletproof armor, a thing that is absolutely useless when dealing with the NME. Don't believe me? I finished the level with it and it was still at 100% because the NME has no bullet attacks. I spent about 45 minutes trying to kill this bastard because he is really awful. A lot of one-hit kills when he shoots 3 homing missiles into your face, with jump pads that you can't just walk on if you want to get to any of the missile weapons. He's got an absurd amount of health, too. Like before, save an Excalibat for him. I did this so many times I became pretty efficient at it by the end.
Rust in pieces.
If I can say anything good about this game, it's that they improved the monks. They're a lot less of a time sink when trying to kill them without missile weapons. And I guess the regular monks are more of a threat because they take half your damn health away when they hit you. The Deathfire monks will still shoot fireballs, but those fireballs now set you on fire and cause continuous burning damage. Your health pickups are mostly replaced with non-heatable crystals again, and when you pick them up it says you used a monk crystal because according to this game they are suppositories. The small ones are piddly shit nothing, but hey, bit of lore there, glad to know it.
For all the good they've done me, I might as well have stuck them up my ass.
Here's the Dark Staff, by the way. It's very different from the last one. More of a lightning gun, it's good, it's fine, I guess. The first couple of levels are monks, cathedrals, more monks. It's very pretty sometimes, but not a lot to discuss. Until the final secret level.
Doug doesn't. My grandmama can grow better shit than this.
Shit. I guess I'm not getting my $5, huh?
This is a troll level, even more so than the original, because once you're done with the titular vomitorium, it takes you outside to the worst platforming section in the game. And also, you can't save anywhere in this map, so you'll try over and over and over again until you give up and say, maybe I need to come back with Lorelei, the faster character, because this jump pad at the bottom of this slide will not get me anywhere close to where I need to go. And then you go onto the Steam forums and they tell you that the devs broke it in a patch by changing the player speed so you can't actually finish the level, and then the actual dev of the game tells you that, yeah, they broke it in a patch.
Bad trip.
This is a
Bad
fucking
trip.
bad
This is a
trip.
fucking
Holy
bad
shit.
trip.
Holy
Bad
shit.
trip.
Bad trip.
Yeah.
Hey. Hanao.
Ah, shit.
Hanao.
Hey, you're not doing so hot. Maybe it's time for God mode.
No, I'm kidding. Fuck off, game.
I told you, motherfucker, I can't be beat.
I think these last couple of levels are my favorite ones, and not just because for some reason a statue comes to life and has the handle of one of the developers of Medieval. I don't know what's going on with that. Everything seems a bit less jank, a little more refined, and also I'm not constantly dealing with really annoying shit. I got the best example of enemies not moving or reacting to your presence in this room.
Your life
And I couldn't omit this secret. There he is.
Yeah, I'm down with this.
Not much else to talk about with this game except the awful final boss. Yeah, let's do that.
Wish I had a jetpack instead of these bitch-ass wings.
Give in and serve the will of
El Oscuro. His first phase, where you get to fly around and shoot him with missiles, isn't too bad. I don't even hate it. His second form is a different story.
This isn't even my final form!
Memes! Because it's a checkpoint system, I've had to watch him say that more times than I can count. Instead of the snakehead, he's a giant spider. Of course, supported by his larvae, who don't sit around doing nothing, and you don't have to kill them all, which is good because they respawn. They crawl out of their eggs, chase you, and explode, as all things with sentience and a will to live often do. Spider Oscuro does whatever he wants. He telekinetically tosses you around the arena. Spider Oscuro can one-hit you in melee, very cool, and if you're too far away for that, why, he can drag you into range and kill you. And walking on terrain in this game is super weird because it was made by people who had never made a big boy game before, so obviously your only health pickups are on jagged crystals surrounded by eggs that hatch exploding spider larvae. You know what? Fuck this. I guess Los Angeles is gonna have to go.
What can I say? You blew it. This isn't some kind of game. People are dying out there. Far be it from me to judge my fellow man, but the last time I checked, killing was a bad thing. I don't like having to wash the blood of innocents off my hands.
You wanna see where I gave up? I'd been fighting him for half an hour, and he rips me out from behind a wall and one hits me. Now I know what some of you were saying. Get good, Civvy. It's not really an issue of good. It's an issue of this is cheap bullshit, and I'm not gonna waste my time on it. I'm fine taking the L. I don't care. God help me, I do care, and it hurts, you know, letting some jank-ass game get the better of you just because they designed it to be intentionally frustrating and cheap. And I know some of you really like that shit, but that's not why I personally play video games, despite all evidence on this channel to the contrary. I like video games. I like when they're fun, and there's a special kind of connection you can have between the audience and the designer, a kind of communication between art and artist in an interactive way. And this right here is the artist telling me to go fuck myself. What are you gonna do? I tried.
What is the time, CV11?
Oh, it's midnight. That means it's Christmas Day. Alright, let's see what we got in here. Oh wow, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. It's cheese! Oh, sorry, El Obscuro. Collision and terrain work super weird in this game. That's just how it was designed. It's super jank.
Feet hurt from kicking so much ass. I have struck down on thee
该
with
死！
great
看你
vengeance.
怎么样跟我
You
撒！
deserve to die.
I bloody well destroyed you. Now that shit feels good to me.
The hunt is victorious. They disarm the missiles and then...
I'm ready to party. I just got one thing to do first.
Yeah, do it, Doug.
That's not the end, though. There's a post-credits scene that teases a sequel where I guess the hunt goes through this portal. I don't think they're doing a sequel. They should probably finish the other 300 games they're working on and also finish this game. And then after more credits, there are development videos and then more of those, and it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy to think that this independent team, a virtual team that happened almost a decade before pandemic times, all came together to do this really uneven, janky, messy thing. And without it, I'm not sure any of the really killer retro FPS throwbacks would exist. It took a few years, but even Slipgate Interceptor Works went back to FPS games, and I take comfort in that. Merry Christmas, kids. Happy holidays. May your loaves be nutritious and your tidings merry.